Hi guys, I thought I would just do a live video since it's a little easier without all the editing, and I thought I would just do some practicing, show you how I practice Bach, and maybe move on to a little Chopin or Rachmaninoff. By the way, welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Scott, and the channel is PianoSoundForest. And yeah, we just explore looking at different ways to help you play piano injury-free, effective way to practice smart. You always see videos about practicing smarter, so we can discuss how to do that, because that's really one of the most important things, whether you're a beginner or advanced. Just knowing how to practice correctly and to make progress is going to make your piano hobby so much more satisfying. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just start practicing some Bach. We're looking at the Goldberg Variations, and it's the aria, which is one that I haven't recorded yet, so I wanted to work on it. That wasn't right. So this is just a passage where, now I remember, it just puts the hand in sort of an awkward position if you want to use an expressive fingering. So I'm just going to go over these two measures. So you'll see how if I get to a spot where I'm having a problem, I'm going to just go ahead and take those two measures first, work on those a little more than the rest, and then I'll go back and plug it in. So I'll show you how I do that. Oh, I'm so sorry guys, I forgot to turn on the light. The lighting is pretty nice in here, but this is definitely better for the video. I'm so sorry. Alright. Okay, so I'm always stopping. If I'm working on a section, I'll stop right after the bar line, you know, on the downbeat. And I'll make sure any tied notes, wherever I'm starting, if there's a tied note, I'll make sure that's already down. So this is a Henley edition, and I'm not sure I like all their fingerings. I'm not sure how really authentically Baroque they are. That being said, they may just be to make it easier to play for most people. I don't use half of them. Some of them can be helpful. Sometimes it's helpful just to have something written in. And they're nice and small, so they're easy to ignore, you know, if you don't look at them. So overall, I do like the Henley as far as the layout and appearance. Just to comment about editions. Okay, this is Variation 1. Okay, so there's a little bit of unevenness in some of my, you can hear a couple of measures there was a little uneven, so I'm going to stop and look at those measures a little more before I go back and work on the whole. So, you know, this crossover, sometimes it just takes a few times playing it to get used to it. It's just so different from most anything else. It's not actually that hard. It's just you got to move precisely and move a long distance. So, but once you're aware of the distance here, it's not too bad once you know just how to move real efficiently back and forth like this. And there's no need to do anything extra. You want to do the minimal movement. So those are just some principles you want to keep in mind as you're practicing, you know, slow practice or this detailed practice that we do. So I want to start most here, and then I want to get down like tiered dynamics. Part of it is a fingering issue, but I like the fingering I'm using is crazy. It's totally not what well, one of my fingerings is the same. But sometimes it's helpful just to write in your fingers, what the fingers that you're using, as opposed to what the book says, so you have a definitive thing you know you're going to be using on that note. 3 on that C sharp. It's never been a problem for me to catch both these notes with my thumb for piano, but if you're on the harpsichord, you're going to have to change that if you're on 2 manuals. Although this says 1 manual, so note to self. Okay. All right, here we go. When you're playing these arpeggios with all white notes, it's very hard sometimes to just keep track of your position on the keys because there's no black note sort of markers to tell you where you are. I mean, there are, but they're not really part of what you're playing. So. just for sake of interest. This next one is that one's sort of easy, the second one. The thing that makes that challenging is you've got imitative voices that are overlapping in the same hand, polyphony in the right hand. That's a little tricky, but at least the figures are relatively simple. Then in variation 3, it's a canon at the unison, excuse me. So in this case, you have double voice polyphony in the right hand as a canon. And the canon is just like the row, row, row your boat. You've got row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Row, row, row your boat gently. And then the second one starts at a certain point. You'll hear that, but it also makes it more challenging to play. So I might need to do a little practicing on this one as well. All right, variation 4. Well, similar to what I use. That's what I do differently there. Try this one once more. It's a pretty hard variation. See if I can practice those parts. if I can reach that. Got a 4 in here, not a 5. So sometimes seeing their fingering can throw me. Now I don't like my fingering. Imitating in the left hand. All right, let me try that second half one more time. Oops. Yeah, left hand. That's a tricky little thing to play. 2, 1, 2, 2, 5. And then 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna write it. I've never written this in before. 2, 4 on that. Let's hear what it sounds like. A little better. All right, let's move on to 5. Let's see if there's anyone actually here. I don't even know how to see if there are people in here. Well, it's okay. I'm not actually expecting anyone. This is the first time we've tried this. A lot of notes missing. So you might notice what I'm doing is trying to lighten up some of the less important notes and bring out the notes that I want to emphasize in those 16th notes. And that's going to allow me to not have everyone be so strenuous, you know, very busy. That's really tough to play, but we're grouping them and we're phrasing them and being more musical. And I'm just using as light an arm as I can use, because otherwise my arm will get tired. So nice and light here. It's just a simple rotating motion. You know, a lot of Alberti bass. Beethoven sonatas or Schubert sonatas, you'll use that. So I'm using a little more pressure on some notes, just to build some inertia that'll carry me through the rest of those sort of softer filigree notes. That D out there. All right, I'm going to move on to a little bit of Rachmaninoff. Hopefully this is still streaming. Got Chopin up there. I'm just going to look at this G major passage in the third movement. Mi no mosso. I think I'm The Schirmer has such a great fingering in here. Oh, they didn't write in this fingering. Okay, I have such a great fingering here for these. No, but yes, they did write it in. Never mind. It's just below the notes, so you can't really see it, but. Two, three, two, three, two, three. Two, three, two, three, two, three. That's not what I do. 2-4 is what I do. So that's what I would recommend for these inner notes. No, it is 2-3, sorry. 3-2-4, that's where it hits the 4. It's just a great fingering. It seems like, oh, that seems a little awkward at first, but it's really, I would recommend using the fingering that's in this Schirmer, I think, edition. Right at that point, that allargando. Just sounds so great. Makes it so strong with that fingering. I recommend it. It takes just a little bit of a down-up motion, which, by the way, is the foundation of so many motions you're going to use in playing the piano, is often just the wrist. What I mean by down-up is the wrist going down and up in a smooth fashion. It could go this way, it could go this way, depending on what you're playing. Those movements just get see, I didn't get good at piano until my wrist got comfortable doing those movements. It's all over the place here in this section. So I'm just going to work this a little, see if I can get it a little better. This section I want to start where the run starts, which is in the left hand, and then it gets taken over by the right hand. 90%. Let's get it all over. What am I doing to get that degree of speed? Well, I'm actually thinking of relaxing. So it's great to have good muscles here. You know, some of my videos are about how to strengthen your arm. It's great to have good muscles here, but then those good, strong muscles have to be able to relax at the drop of a dime. That's something that you just train. It's another type of training that you need to do at the piano. You know, so there's some naysayers on my channel that say, oh, you're just going to get injured doing physical athletics, you know, for your arms. You shouldn't be trying to strengthen that because you're going to ruin your piano. Well, if you only did that, you probably would ruin your chances at piano. But if you do the arm training that I show you in my video, and then you go back and you work relaxation and you work finger independence and mobility and agility, it's all going to be there. You just, whatever you teach your body to do, it will do. That is a principle of training. How do you teach your body to? You have to try hard to do it, whatever it is. So here I'm trying hard to relax so that I can get out all those individual notes. It's still a struggle, but we're going to get it. Hard shifts in the left hand. So I have to memorize a lot of different positions and angles, so that's what I'm trying to work on here. Yeah, that's tricky. Now this part is, I think, one of the trickiest parts in the concerto. It's just so busy and fussy. I mean, insane when you try to take that up to tempo. So, you know, I've heard, I think, some pianists where they just play maybe the first few and then just do that. I don't know, that's a good fallback to have in your arsenal for sure. So, hey, with that, I think I'm gonna end this live stream here. This is the first time I've tried this, so sorry if there is anyone there and you're trying to talk to me. I don't think there is anyone, but I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it that you can use to enrich your practice time and practice a little smarter, rather than just practicing longer but not very smart. So we're practicing mistakes. We want to avoid playing mistakes as much as possible, which maybe I'm not the best example of when I'm just playing through stuff here, but there's a lot of places where normally I would stop and work on detailed work, but there is something to be said at a certain stage of the game for you to start seeing, hey, what does it feel like to just truck on through these sections? Anyway, I hope that I was able to demonstrate that effectively, and thank you for joining me for this first live stream. Have a great day.